Guess what wasn't on my list? Guess what wasn't on my list? If you take a guess, you'd be surprised that none of the stuff was on the list. But I went shopping really. I can't say that. So what got me ticked? Bread shrinkage. I was making my kids sandwich this morning, and I thought I was going to be a really nice mom, and I was going to take a dinosaur bread cutter and make a little dinosaur sandwich. My bread cutter is now officially bigger than the bread that we buy at the store. So it's time we start to go back to some of the basics and start doing a ton of freezer meals and meal prepping, as well as menu planning, which I'm really good about, but I have been a lot more flexible since COVID, where, yeah, I'll allow it. Has been a lot more of my mindset and motto, but it's time. I'm not going to let them win. Them being the bread shrinkage people. In fact, I might even go protest. Might do a sit-in, throw my bra, get arrested, bring attention to this looming crisis of where the bread go. Okay, who am I kidding myself? I'm not going to do that, but it needs to be done. If I can't even make a little dinosaur, what's this world coming to? All right, let's see what I can do with all those cans. I'm going to take these ingredients and assemble them into 2 different freezer meals, or at least a head start. I'll still need to add the noodles on the day that I'm making the meal. And no, this is not to save time. I have some leftover ground up beef that I pulled out of my freezer. If anybody knows me, I'm a very busy mom. Everybody always acts like I'm some super mom who has it all together. I don't. But if I'm going to cook 5 pounds of hamburger meat, I'm not going to have my family eat a pound a person. I find ways to cut my meat back to stretch. I've always been like that. If a recipe calls for an entire onion, my food is still flavorful. I just don't use the entire onion. I use maybe 3/4 of the onion, and the rest of it, since I've already started chopping it, I save, I throw in the freezer. It's ready to go for the next meal because I've already started the process. This is ways that I save time, keep my sanity, and still live my best life. So I'm starting off by taking half of the ragu and pouring it into just a gallon freezer bag. I'm going to chop up the mushrooms first, onions, add that in. No, I'm not cooking them. No, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just throwing them in. Here I've blended about a 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, which still leaves me with that much left in the container. And I took about 1/4 of the can of the beef broth just to help the blender work faster and easier. Blended it together, and I'm getting ready to pour that in here and with the ragu sauce. Mix it up to help add protein to thin out the sauce just a little bit for when I add it to noodles. And I will also add in the mushrooms, which are high in fiber. And then, of course, I'll take some meat and add it to this batch. And then again, I'll take some of the frozen onion. I'll chop up some of this onion to add, and then it's ready to go. And I know that just like, why are you doing this? Spaghetti doesn't take that long. It's because I bought a giant thing of ragu. I want to take this, freeze it, use some of this meat, and add it to some of the chili I'm going to be making to make some freezer meals in advance. The color consistency has now changed since I added about half of this into here. And before anybody's like, ooh, why would you add cottage cheese? Or ooh, why would you add beef broth? You're literally getting ready to add meat, beef broth, meat, 2 tomatoes, and you probably top your spaghetti with some sort of cheese like Parmesan. So it's actually really not that weird when you think about it. This is now the new color consistency. I'm going to add the other ingredients to help stretch a meal. My kids will be the first to tell you that they don't eat mushrooms. But guess what? I often cut up my mushrooms about the same size that I cut up my onions, and my kids have no idea, and they don't watch my videos. So Yeah, they don't eat mushrooms, not at all. Anyway, yep. I've taken about a third of this container of ground up hamburger meat that I had. Sorry about my camera work. About a third of this ground up hamburger meat that I pulled out of the freezer. Yes, I cooked it and basically just seasoned it with salt and pepper because I usually cook about 5 pounds of meat at a time. And then I pull out, once I've kind of drained any excess grease, I pull out a majority, like half of it usually, or even sometimes more. And then whatever I need to cook for the meal, I add the seasoning at that point. Just like if I were to use this for taco meat, I would take out what I need and add some taco seasoning, and voila, there you go. I've sped up some of my time. And here we have 2 meals that will feed a total of 12 people. Obviously, you have to add the noodles, but not bad, right? All right, so far this is what I'm left with. So let's start opening some chili cans. Beans, beans, a musical fruit that make your butt go toot toot toot. Now these 2 little guys I did not buy today. I went out to my pantry and I grabbed a can of black beans that I bought, and I grabbed the diced tomatoes that I bought. Every now and then when I go to the store, if I'm buying one, I often buy 2 because that's how you create a little tiny stockpile. I'm going to add these 2 ingredients to my chili. I'm going to take the chili that I bought today, chili ready tomatoes, start mixing all of this together. I promise you, there's probably going to be a chef somewhere being like, oh my God, that's disgusting. And you know what? Okay, awesome, thanks. I'm not a chef. I am a mom trying to stretch our budget and feed my family so that nobody goes hungry. Is it nutritious? No. No. Even the chicken knows, but they know that they're going to get the leftovers. We're going to be fed. We're going to be full. The chickens are going to be fed. The chickens are going to be full. Can't complain. Nobody goes to bed hungry. I personally drain my black beans. I open the can, drain them, I rinse them, and then after rinsing them several times, draining them, then I like to add them to my chili. My bowl is quite full. This actually might make 3 meals coming up. I had about half a can of beef broth left, so I put the rest of it in the freezer. Waste not, want not. I also took the opportunity to add some spices to my chili while I was making it and mixing it. My bowl is really full and I still have ingredients. I need to add the onion. I need to go get the garlic out of my fridge and add that. I've already added the last of my third of ground beef that I had. I might even add some mushrooms. Again, cut it up real little. Nobody's going to know the difference. So I'm going to start portioning it prematurely so I can make room. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Wow. Pretty sure she's supervising my progress because she is waiting for some scraps. I'm portioning it up, and already I have 2-gallon bags filled. I'm getting ready to start third, and we're probably having chili for dinner. Okay, final product. I have to cut up this so I can store this in my freezer. Put that back in the fridge. I have about half of my container of mushrooms left, so I will use that for my salad for the next 2 days. I still have the soups. Why do I have 2 different soups? One so that I can make grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup for the family, and then the other one for my teenage daughter for when she just feels like making a grilled cheese sandwich for herself with some tomato soup. The chicken broth, that's going to be for some soup that I will make later on down the road, maybe when I have some extra chicken. Basically, it's just going to go on my shelf in the pantry to help stock up for the next time I need it. This is what's left. Those are some bonus items that were on my shopping bill that I will eventually assemble and put together. And I ended up with 3 freezer bags and a pot of chili, not quite full, but I can make a batch of cornbread and we will be full. That's what 2 batches of spaghetti sauce, some leftover beef broth, 3 batches of chili look like in a freezer. Once it actually freezes up a bit and becomes stiff, I will actually take it out into my garage deep freeze and just stack it up. It's neat, it's organized, it's out of the way, it's clearly labeled, I'll know what it is. And I have literally just spent about an hour of my time making dinner for several nights, at least 5 nights. The last of the onion chopped up to go in with the rest of it. This smells unbelievably amazing. What's up, Sam's Club? I can't wait to try those for lunch.